Okay, so despite what the title of this video might say, I have to admit that I'm kind of like in the middle with this one, or I feel like I'm more leaning towards the side where I'm a lot more positive about this update, and I actually think I kind of like it. But there is definitely a few different things about it that I can't really hide the fact that I absolutely hate them. But the thing is, I feel like this update is going to end up being so good that these few things that I hate about it, I could probably end up just looking past them and just seeing this update in the most positive light that I possibly can. But back in June is the first time we saw anything to do with this, and Bloxy News, they said Roblox is working on a new feature on the Discover page that brings up additional information about an experience when hovering over it, desktop devices only. I will update you if or when this rolls out to everyone. So obviously that was a month ago that we first heard about this, and there is two reasons that I haven't made a video about it yet. Reason number one is I completely missed this tweet. I had no idea that this was going to become a thing. And reason number two is pretty much just because the last sentence of the tweet says if or when this rolls out to everyone. So it was a very big hit or miss with this update, because if/when means that even Roblox themselves were very unsure about this becoming an actual update that everyone gets. But with me making this video right now, I think it's more than obvious that this update is rolling out to everyone, or at least I have it. Like, I literally just opened Roblox this morning, and right away the first thing that I noticed was the fact that I do have this update. Also, just one thing I wanted to point out, this is completely off topic, but they said the additional information about an experience, and a lot of replies seem to be mentioning the fact that this tweet said experience and not games. And I've even seen some people threatening to unfollow Bloxy News for using experience instead of games. I've seen people attacking or sending hate to Bloxy News for using experience instead of games, and I think it's ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. But unless I'm like completely missing something here, that was the last thing we ever heard about this update. Like, they didn't even come onto Twitter to tell us that this update had been rolled out to a few people, or I'm pretty sure nobody else ever got this update. But then randomly, out of nowhere, on the 19th of July, almost an entire month after the first tweet got put out, Bloxy News said, update, this feature has been reverted. I will update you when/if it returns. So I can only assume by that tweet saying that it has been reverted, it probably got given to a few different people on the platform. But I guess for very unknown reasons, Roblox decided that this update should have been reverted, and then once again, the very interesting ending to this tweet was, I will update you when/if it returns. So once more, everybody was very unsure if this was actually going to become a permanent update that everyone receives, and with it being when or if it returns, I feel like even Roblox themselves were they had no idea if they wanted this update to become a thing, which is actually, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Like, obviously, they've had their fair share of questionable updates, and most of the updates that we do receive, I know a lot of people tend to complain about them, but even this one, Roblox themselves seem to be a little bit unsure. But then a further update just a few days later said, this new Discover page feature has been re-enabled for some users on desktop devices, and that was 2 days ago at this point, but I hadn't received it until sometime this morning. But here's me spending like 5 minutes of recording bragging about having this update for myself. I mean, I have no idea if anybody else has this update right now, but just in case nobody has seen it as of right now, and maybe I'm one of the only people that currently has this again. So I feel like we should stop wasting time. I need to stop talking, and basically I'm just going to show you the update. You can probably already tell from this footage right here that this is very different. Like, that's why it was so noticeable for me. It was literally the first thing that I noticed, and I just think there is a lot to take in here, so I'm just gonna give everybody a few moments to process this, because like I said, I got this early this morning and I'm still currently trying to process this myself, because there is a few different things about it that I'm not the biggest fan of, but at the same time I really like the majority of the update to a point where I could probably look past the things that I hate. So I think whilst we're taking a look at this update, I'm going to use Welcome to Bloxburg or Brookhaven, one of the two, as an example. So first of all, overall, my favorite thing about this is the fact that, like, you can see how, like, aesthetically pleasing that is for it to fade from the game icon into the thumbnail. And of course, with pretty much every game on Roblox, the thumbnails are going to be drastically different to the game icons. So I really like the idea that Roblox is now giving us a way to see the thumbnails without actually clicking on the game, and especially also the fact that we can read the beginning of the descriptions of these games without having to click on these games. So we can truly see everything about a game without actually having to go to the game page, and it's just I think it's gonna make it easier to decide which game to play and which games that we would actually be interested in. And I think this is a much better way of doing this because it kind of gives people more of an insight to a game before actually clicking on the game page, and it's probably going to draw people into some games that they probably wouldn't have clicked on before. But I think overall my favorite thing about this entire update is the way that these games, they just fade from the game icon into the thumbnail. They expand out a little bit, they show you a little bit of the description of the game, and just overall it just looks a whole lot better than it did previously, and it almost looks like an entirely new platform just from this one simple little update. And I mean, I keep mentioning the fact that there's a few things about this that I don't really like and some things that I hate, and I would say the biggest thing would be the fact that just not hovering over these games, you can see right here that these icons, they're a lot bigger than they were before. And I do like that in the sense that you can see the game icons better, you can see a lot more detail that has been put into them, which is great, but it's just because we've been so used to the previous size of the game icons for the longest time, this one just looks a little bit strange right now, and I feel like it's going to take some getting used to, and it's going to take a little bit of time. But other than that, I do really like this update for myself. But as for the reactions of everyone, I haven't really seen anything too significant right now. It's just people commenting on the fact of whether they have this or not right now. So as always, I would absolutely love to hear your opinions on this update as well, because I acknowledge the fact that not everybody's going to have the same opinion as me. I like this update, maybe not everybody else does. So one more time, please make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe, because I will always appreciate all the support that you guys give me, and you know what? It helps me out a lot. But let me get think of Roblox completely changing the way that the games page looks, and I think it's probably one of the best updates. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.